For hundreds, crossing a flooded bridge was the only escape from South Lismore on the morning of February 28. They're carrying whatever precious belongings they could salvage. In every desperate face, a story of survival, like Bianca Pope and her dog Nala.
That moment, I was so exhausted, and I just remember I actually looked at the SES going, can you please fit us in? Like, please. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, I just remember with all the energy I had, I just did not think I was going to make it. And then this crazy amount of strength came over me just to carry her. Like, I was just like, she's my baby, I'm keeping her. She's not like drowning or going today.
Nala was destined for the pound until Bianca saw her in a litter of bush dogs and had to take her home. She's almost 2 now and weighs about 33 kilos.
She's about 15 more kilos less than me.
Nala looks tough, but is a real softie at heart.
Everyone looks at her and thinks, oh, you're so aggressive. And she's the biggest princess you'll ever meet.
Bianca and her fiancé Jaden live with Jaden's dad in South Lismore. 3 weeks after the flood, mud covers the floor, mould grows on the ceiling, and memories are triggered by the smallest of things.
Every time it actually rains, I still picture it's going to flood again.
Standing in here in waist-deep water and just looking out the window and just seeing like water level with the window and just thinking if the house lets go, you're pretty much gone.
Bianca called her dad Greg, who lives a few blocks away.
It was panic. I wanted to stay. I didn't think the floodwater would come up that high.
Where?
I was in the kitchen bench.
Hang on.
But come up it did. Bianca's sister Megan and brother-in-law Perry were also in the house. Perry recorded this video.
I've got to try and get up on the roof, man. We've got to try and get up on the roof because it just keeps coming up.
And I just turn around and go, okay, remember that really bad plastic in the roof of the veranda? I said, get whatever you can and just break through that.
I grabbed his steak knife out of the drawer. So Perry's gone out and punched a hole through and started cutting. Just went poof and started cutting quick as he can.
Perry's escape hatch was the only way out.
We're going to get out, man. If we don't get out of there, we're trapped. This is crazy.
Perry hauled everyone up, including their dog and a cat, and they waited on the roof for help to arrive.
Everyone's house is
Being up on the roof so long was just terrifying to me. I just laid down and I thought I was going to die, actually.
Meanwhile, floodwaters were rising fast at Bianca's place. They climbed out a window and onto a roof.
And then we just had to jump up. And then we sat out here under this roof for a couple of hours.
They were cold and wet. Nala was shivering.
And we just sort of cuddled to get our body warmth together.
Rooftops were a refuge. It's where everyone waited their turn to be taken by rescue boats to the flooded bridge where they were dropped off. From there, it was a long walk through fast-rising waters.
That shot was probably definitely the feeling of me going, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Like, 100%, like the despair in my face of being like, oh my God, are we going to get out of here? Like, are we actually going to do this?
Bianca, Nala and her whole family did it. 3 weeks on and Bianca and Jaden are counting the cost. Jaden's macadamia business, 20,000 seedlings and a year's work down the drain.
I can just think of the months of effort of just potting all these trees up and just the money that went into it and time.
But the ordeal has brought this young couple closer. Jaden's not much of a hugger, but lately they've been doing a lot of this. Nala also wants to stay close to Bianca.
What a good girl.
And over at her dad, Greg's place, there's relief and joy.
Hello.
Bianca's mum, Margaret, who has a disability, was in the hospital on the night of the flood, which probably saved her life.
I don't think I would have made it through that hole to the roof, ever.
No.
There's not much left of the house where Bianca grew up. It's a gutted shell, but it's still a home filled with the fighting spirit of that determined woman on the bridge.
I'm very proud of this lady. She's the mainstay of my life.
Exactly.
All the kids are, but not for her giving me courage and that to start again, you know what I mean? She even said we're going to rebuild and we'll do it. She's going to be the interior designer now.
Yes.
What an incredible family. Gosh, it's so important to keep hearing those individual stories of survival and devastation en masse. It's hard to comprehend. That is an example of one family and what they're going through, and then times that by thousands.
Yep.
And this will be going on for a very long time to come. It's why we must make sure, as you say, that we keep telling those stories, because the news cycle can move on so quickly,
Absolutely.
but these people are still living with this every single day and they continue to need our help.